The most important part as a trader, being confident in your system, in your trading.
What is the most you have ever flipped? It's yet another day, we are back. This is Forex Flex. Name is Awesome Calvin, the entertainer, I believe, and I hope you are learning a thing or two from V-Dollar. It's good to see you once again.
It's a pleasure, bro.
How has it been?
It's really progressive. I also looked at the comments and the feedback.
Yeah.
So I think people are now starting to really get interest.
I have some questions,
Yes.
especially those that came in from our audience. One of these ones was demonstrate the initial steps someone should take to start Forex trading.
As how we discussed in the other episode, we said whoever has a phone or say a laptop, then you're able to trade. Say it's your phone, it's Android or whatever iPhone, it's really easy. So when you go over to App Store.
App Store.
Yes.
Let's use several things as I'm trying them out right away. So
I believe by the end of these episodes, you'll be able to trade 100%.
I hope.
Yes.
I hope. Yes.
On your App Store, you just type in MetaTrader 5.
MetaTrader
5.
Oh, okay, already
Shows
I'm
up.
already seeing it here.
There we go. Yeah.
MetaTrader 5. Yes.
So you just have to install that.
Okay.
This is like a global platform that can be accessed by any trader.
Okay.
So it's open. Anyone can actually use it to trade. Yes. And how we discussed, like in the other episode, we said whenever you have it, then it comes with like a demo account.
Okay.
A demo account again is like a demonstration account where you just do a bit of practice. So you don't deposit money, and either way you don't make money. It's just practice.
Nice.
And we shall try that out.
Nice. Now, aside from this platform,
in a much easier way.
are there other alternative platforms? And of course, why this one?
Well, there are other alternative platforms. We also have one called TradingView. Same. You could still install it on your phone.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. So the thing is, MT5 or MetaTrader 5 is much more easier to use as compared to these other platforms. So for a beginner trader or someone who is really brand new to the whole trading world, I'd honestly recommend MT5.
MT5?
Yes, so it's much more easier to use.
So the interface is more user-friendly?
Exactly.
Nice. Now I'm seeing here like Exness. The first thing I'm seeing on the first interface.
Yes. Now, Exness is just like a broker. Remember what we discussed like in the other episode? We said now when you have say MT5, for you to access the financial markets, you need a broker. And in such an example, we have Exness. Or if say you wanted to get a house in say whichever part of Kampala, you need a broker in between. And now that's what these brokers do.
Okay.
So when you have MT5, we are step 1 in.
Nice. So step 1, we are in.
Yes.
Now, what's the next step? I'm seeing here, register, sign in. Yes.
Yes. If I could give an example, I think it's the same actually. You could switch back to MT5 first. MT5. You have a demo account and it's totally free. Nothing to pay, just practice entirely.
That's interesting.
For that, again, as we mentioned, we shall actually use that for practice before now we go to like opening up a live account with a broker. Because now after that, that takes us to the next step. Okay, now you have the trading platform. What do I do next? And that's when you need a trading broker. Yes. Now, once you have that, you could think of opening up a trading account. And there's so many brokers, honestly, in Uganda. Actually, most of them are global. So you could do a bit of research. As what we mentioned the other time, these brokers have to be regulated, just like how banks are regulated by the Bank of Uganda here. So they must be regulated because it's finances and all that. So in such an example, say we use Exness, it's really easy. Click on register and then fill in your details, your email address, your name, your country of residence. You know, pretty easy, just like how you could open up a bank account. And then you have that, you can now finally sign in. So I'll just show you here. So I assume now say you've registered because it's really easy. Do you want to fill in the details for privacy and all that? And then once you're done with that, click on sign in. And you'll come over to such an interface. So it's typically easy actually, because actually what happens is the broker is where all the real transactions happen. Your deposits, your withdrawals, and so that means you need to find one where you could easily make deposits. So withdrawals, mentioned it the other time. For me, whenever I make money, I actually make a withdrawal and in like 5 minutes the money is on my bank account.
How do these brokers operate, if you may demonstrate?
Actually, a much better example would be how we go to Forex bureaus and say we went with like the dollar. At the moment, say that dollar has raised value against the Ugandan shilling. You see, there's a difference in there. That means if say you bought the dollar at the moment, say for like 3,800 Ugandan shillings, and then sold it off, say at let's say 3,900. So there's money in between there.
Okay.
So there's always a difference between the buying and the selling. That's even how Forex bureaus work, and that's how they make money.
Yes.
So same thing for brokers. They will always make money whenever you're transacting.
Nice. What happens exactly with the demo account?
It's the same charts, it's the same financial markets. You could actually be trading, say, the Ugandan shillings against the dollar, or say the dollar against the pound. But this time, you're not using real money. You get? So it's just virtual. You could say, oh, I'm going to trade with $1,000. Just virtual. Just virtual.
Yes. So I'm not losing anything.
Exactly. But the most interesting part is you're still dealing with the same financial markets or the same trades that you would finally do in your real account. So in the trading world, we use that for practice, and whoever starts trading must go through the demo account route first. You practice, get so good at it, and then after that, you can finally switch to a real account and start making money.
How does someone fully appreciate that concept of losing and winning?
You see, trading is a business just like any other. I think if we could give a very, very better example is, say you bought land, say at 10 million right now, and we expect it to raise in value, say in like the next 1 year. Say it's going to be 15. But actually what happens is maybe something happens in that area, maybe the land gets issues and stuff, and then the value goes down. You see, in such an example, you expected to make profit, but in actual sense, you've taken a loss. So it's the same thing in trading. But we have what we call risk management. And remember in the first episode when you talked about trading not being gambling, we have risk management. So I know I'm going to risk $5 or let's say 30,000 Ugandan shillings to make 150. See, that's the good thing about it. So at the end of the day, the trader is in total control. And that's the most interesting part.
Let's get this straight. The bigger the deposits, the bigger the returns?
I would say yes. The bigger the capital, the bigger the returns. Because actually, let me give an example. You see banks here trade. Big banks. Actually, all banks trade. Because at some point they have, a ton of money and they need to make money. So we have big banks, we have institutional traders, we have what we call hedge funds. Hedge funds are like institutions that handle people's money. You put your money in and then they'll trade for you. So what I'm trying to bring up is we have different traders that come in with different volumes. Now, we as, say myself, I'm just like a retail trader because I don't go in with a lot. Even if you are trading, say with like $10,000 or even 100,000, the bigger traders, like big banks that are going to come in with millions of dollars. You get? So at the end of the day, the trading capital is going to determine your results. You could make $10 if you're trading, say, with 100, but someone else could make 1,000. You see? So that's key.
Now, if you can maybe probably demonstrate furthermore, in case there's something you would want to demonstrate before we dig into another question.
I think if we could just quickly show you. So I mentioned this is like a broker, but there's so many. People have options. You could easily choose. Then this is how it looks. So this is a trading view.
I'm seeing graphs.
Yes. If I could show you something, let me quickly show you something. I know you've seen those charts in the news. Could be, on the TV. I don't know, the dollar has raised in value. Yes. So this is actually what we'd be dealing with. So in such an example, if I could show you. So this is how charts look. So in such an example, say that we have this type of a movement, it's going down. So that means the value would be going down. In such an instance, you'd think of selling, pretty easy. If we could also have an example, say, let's look at this and we have the price going up. So in such an instance, you'd be buying.
So when the prices going down,
we sell.
When the prices are going up,
we buy.
Then we buy.
You buy low and sell high. You could buy your land at 5 million because the value is going to raise. So you're buying at 5 million and then you shall sell when it's like 15 million. So you've made money. In trading, we have what we call currency pairs. So currency pairs, actually the concept is whenever you're trading, you're dealing with two currencies. It's like how you'd go to a Forex bureau, you have, say, the shillings and you need a dollar in
dollar.
return. It's always two currencies. So we call that a currency pair.
Do you select any currency of your choice, or it has to be a dollar and a shilling?
No. You can always choose.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give an example. You could decide to trade, say, the dollar with the pound.
Yeah.
You could decide to trade the Australian dollar with the New Zealand. Like, it's huge because different countries, different currencies. So it's open.
I also want to understand. I've seen people who choose to trade Bitcoin.
Yes.
How is that then different from other currencies?
So Bitcoin is a currency also, just like how we could have the Ugandan shilling.
Okay.
Only that it's digital. Like, it's not like real cash that, same concept, just like how the dollar is or the Ugandan shilling.
Yeah.
At some point, the value is going to go up or down. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's always money. Actually, when you look at the chart to do with Bitcoin, I could actually show you if we could find it over here.
Yeah.
It's actually the same. So this is like Bitcoin against the dollar. So I'll quickly show you. Yep. This is pretty easy stuff. So this is how it looks. So this means it's Bitcoin against the dollar.
Against the dollar.
So one Bitcoin is $100,000.
Okay.
Now, this is 2025. But funny thing is, in like 2009, one Bitcoin was about $300.
$300.
So if someone bought by then,
Yeah.
they'd have been in big profit.
Interesting.
So it's the same thing, the dollar against the Ugandan shilling. So, literally the same concept.
In terms of exchange, where does the person deposit this money? Do they put it on their bank account? Do they put it on mobile money?
We have the broker already in place.
Okay.
So whenever you want to deposit to the broker, honestly, it depends. You could even use mobile money here. Actually, in Uganda, you could use mobile money.
Okay.
Load some money on mobile money and then make a deposit.
Yeah.
Or banks, I think multiple payment options. You could even use crypto. Just depends. I think the easiest option would be the best.
What are some of the common mistakes beginners make when they start trading, and how can some of those mistakes be avoided?
Yes, most beginner traders come in with excitement because you see this is an online business, so someone is going to come in because they saw Daniel.
Yeah.
This guy is 24. How on earth is he owning a Range Rover?
Yes.
Yes, so someone comes in, I want to make 10 million. I want to make, like those crazy targets. So I feel like most beginner traders come in with a lot of expectations, like huge expectations, and in some way it holds them back. I mean, an example would be, let's talk about starting a business. Say you started your business, small business. Do you expect to make like 5 million in your first day?
Very hard.
Honestly,
very hard.
not.
Yeah, it takes some time. Yeah.
Yes, so that's a very key thing with traders. Actually, most beginner traders never want to look at trading as a career or a business.
Someone wants a quick buck.
Yes, and that's something huge because honestly, it doesn't work that way in trading.
Yeah.
You have to be as honest as possible. You must really learn the concept, see like what we are doing here, and this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Then you'd make the money.
At what point do you think someone should now shift from the demo
to
the real thing of making money?
Do as much practice as possible with your demo account until you feel comfortable to say, I can finally now go real trading.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's going to vary with time and how fast does someone learn. It could be a month, it could be 3 months, could be weeks actually.
Okay.
But what happens is sometimes I'd suggest a challenge, say how much money do I want to trade with on my real account? Let me give an example for someone, just starting off and, they want to start with as less as $100.
Yeah.
So I would say, okay, get a demo account of $100 first, try out, see how much can I make on this $100? How is it treating me? You could even set a target that, okay, I want to push this $100 to like $200 or $500 in like, say, a month or 2 months or 3 weeks. And when you're done with that challenge, yes, now you can go live because at least whatever you've practiced is working. Actually, let me bring this in. So we have 3 types of traders or trading anyways. So we have scalping. Scalping is where someone is going to come in, trade for like a minute, 5 minutes, make some quick bucks, and then they're out. That's scalping. Then we have what we call day trading. Day trading is when you place trades during the day and you could hold them for like an hour, 2 hours, or even up to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And that's what actually most retail traders do. That's what I do personally. And then we have what we call swing trading. Swing trading is where someone could hold trades for like months, weeks, or even years. Now you can imagine such a scenario. Someone is going to open up a trade now and let it run like till June or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's it. From the 3, you decide on which type of a trader you want to be.
How long before you switched from demo to live?
To me, it was about 3 months.
About
'Cause
3 months.
Yes, I was doing self-learning. I was teaching myself from YouTube and all that.
Yeah.
But I would say for someone who has, say, a mentor with in a school of traders, say like Forex Bulls,
Yeah.
I would say it's much more easier because you're now learning from someone who has the experience already.
Can someone invest what they are not willing to lose?
Just like any other business, if you're really confident, you have your system, you know how things work, you know risk management and all that, you could come in. It's like a business. If I wanted to start a bigger business and I want to make money, I would honestly come in with more capital.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Then on the other side, if I was doing it as a part-time side hustle kind of a thing, could come in like 100 and, you know, just something little. I think the most important part is, as a trader, being confident in your system, in your trading, and you know what exactly to do, what not to do.
What else do I need to know now, of course, now that you're trying to
yes.
demonstrate how these things work?
Now, what comes up next is understanding now what causes the value of the dollar to raise, or what causes the value of the Ugandan shillings to raise.
Yeah.
So we have what we call fundamental analysis and what we call technical analysis. You see, currencies deal with economies. If I could give an example here in Uganda, if say we had more jobs, people are getting employed, the economy is really doing crazy big,
Yeah.
you see the value of the Ugandan shilling would raise. Then if say either way things are not okay, say people are unemployed, the value of the Ugandan shilling would decrease or go down, you know. That's what we call fundamental. In fundamental, we are looking at how is the economy of a given country looking like. Give an example, say when we had war in Ukraine, that was something huge for the euro because things are working out well, and out of the blue we have war and all that, so the value of the euro at some point went down. But a very good example is when we had COVID-19 coming in. At some point the value of US oil, it went down extremely low because people are no longer using cars. I mean, we are all locked down and nothing is happening. So all that is called fundamental analysis. Then we have what we call technical analysis. Technical analysis is looking at what happened previously, because actually funny thing is, see like how we looked at these charts, these are repetitive patterns. See what happened sometime back could again happen over again. So with technical analysis, you look, okay, the price came up to this point, should we expect it to go back to that point? And then you're able to establish when to buy or sell.
When to buy or sell.
Yes, so we call that technical analysis.
What is the most you have ever flipped?
So flipping is like turning a small amount to a very big amount. So some point I was able to like turn $18 to about 800. So that's like 70,000 to like 2 million or 3.
What would you wish to share with our audience as, of course, they await the next episode?
Yeah, if you started trading, I'd also recommend more research. You know, so you watch this episode. Obviously, I believe there's a lot to learn. You've learned a lot. But again, that doesn't stop more research. I do have a YouTube channel with like a ton of content. So you could even learn over there.
Alright guys, I will see you next week, same time. Peace and love. We out.